All right, everyone. Here we are with the good old Joe himself. I was up like writing my next editorial, and I noticed that like Joe actually uploaded another Supergirl video, and I just kind of thought that I'm in a position where I can live stream this. I'm sure Kino Casino will cover it later tonight, but I might as well beat them to the punch because I'm not a lazy sack of shit like Ashton and Andy, right? I can get these videos live because I'm working all the time. So let's take a look and see what Joe has to say about his second Supergirl viewing. And I have to say, already noticed no OJ and no Alex. So like it's like well, we're gonna get like Joe's unfiltered thoughts here in regards to his second viewing, and it's just like it's I am very curious about what this video is actually going to be about because like top reasons why I hated Supergirl. Well, okay. Like I don't know if he's trying to grift or if he's trying to do damage control. I find it very difficult to believe that he actually thinks this. Like I imagine it's going to be like the same deal that happened with like 2025 and like Suicide Squad, where like he comes out, glazes the game initially. I'm sorry, the movie initially gets pushed back, rolls it back, and then slowly starts saying that like he likes it again. Like I feel like that's pretty on brand for Joe. So we're gonna have to see we're gonna have to see what he has to say.
I'm in the I'm in the black super suit today because unfortunately I went and saw Supergirl second time, this time with the family.
Wait, wait. Unfortunately, like okay. So he's making it. He really comes off like someone who watched the movie for the first time. You know what I mean? Like he's coming out like shell shocked, like people were when they saw like Indiana Jones 4. Like they just can't believe how bad the movie was. Like it really comes off that way to me, as if like he's like shell shocked by how bad this movie is, but like you just tried to damage control it. You just tried brushing all the problems under the rug. You've been fighting with people on Twitter about this even after your initial review. Like you're so desperate to simp for Supergirl's like honor, like hoping desperately that someday you'll be able to go into a Supergirl comic and fuck the character, right? If I white knight for her hard enough, like she's gonna like me. It'll be canon. Like you just it's pathetic. It's ridiculous.
Over the weekend, and while they enjoyed it mostly as a fun popcorn flick, they actually agreed with me on the ending.
Wait,
Um,
wait, wait,
they
wait.
done fucked it up.
On the ending. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So he's gonna do the Nintending thing where he's like, "Oh yeah, my friends and family who you'll never see on camera and will never give their thoughts. Oh yeah, they totally agree with me on everything." It's like that is straight up like a play out of Nintending's playbook. This is the kind of shit Nintending does like all the time. Like it's just such a lazy manipulation tactic. It's like it's him trying to tell you that like, well, off the internet, everybody agrees with me because I'm such a Chad and I'm so knowledgeable about the subject matter. Like, no, no, Joe, you don't know what you're talking about.
It up, guys. They done fucked it up. I even talked with people that were walking out of the film afterwards. A guy had recognized me, and I got his opinion,
Wait,
and
what?
it's much the
Wait,
same.
wait, what? What do you say?
Done fucked it up. I even talked with people that were walking out of the film afterwards. A guy had recognized me, and I got his opinion, and it's much the same. They messed it up. And so upon second viewing, let's just get this right out of the way. On second viewing, did you like it much better, Joe? Did you change your opinion? You're going to watch it 6 more times and the score going to go up? No. Um, I
What?
liked Superman because it had a fucking good message. It executed on that message, and it did it right. At the end, he's
What?
smiling. He's got a wonderful, he realizes he has a wonderful set of parents this whole time. And as he takes in all of his, vacation with
Is
his
that what he
family,
said? Was that a straight up like visual error?
And he's
That wasn't me,
smiling.
was it?
He's got a wonderful. He realizes he has a wonderful set of parents this whole time, and as he takes in all of his, vacation videos and moments with his family, it really what makes him. It's really what makes him a good person. And even though I thought some of it was cringe and too fast paced with the Roblox speed and the Minecraft editing, it's a Superman for a new generation that gets all the messaging right, and what it is to be a good person and to be a symbol of hope for others, and to be this big goofy. And yes, Superman is goofy. If you can't handle a little cringe or a little goofiness in your Superman, then you're not really. I mean, Superman's not for you. You might want to try Batman. But
Is that why you glazed Man of Steel, Joe?
um, so whereas Superman, and then by the end, even songs, punk rock songs that I don't like.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't remember this because it happened so long ago. But like, Angry Joe was the only person on That Guy with the Glasses who was like glazing Man of Steel when it came out. So this is not a new thing for him. I haven't seen anyone else bring this up, but like everybody else hated Man of Steel. It was a very unpopular film right from the get go among critics. And like Joe was the only person who was glazing it and trying to say it was really deep when like in reality he's just such a blinded fanboy. Like it's just
I end up loving because I'm a punk rocker. Yes, I am. But it's not saying that line. It's saying that's the kind of good person that he is. He's become a full circle, a real, like, kind of a character arc, a realization of his goodness. None of that, none of it is in Supergirl. In fact, upon second viewing, I thought it was worse.
oh come
2 parts
on.
this time in the theater. Sat in the back, had my phone under. I didn't bother anybody, but
Oh sure you didn't,
it
Joe.
was it was worse. And I've got individual scenes that really bothered me, but it all comes down to bad writing and a misunderstanding of the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic. Let me get it. When you adapt something, you're not supposed to make it worse.
What?
There is a reason.
Joe. What are you talking about? Have you never seen an adaptation before? Like, there's a reason. There's a reason why book adaptations are so reviled. There's a reason why everybody who loves books like has this expression, like the book is always better because it's almost always true. Like, it is very uncommon for an adaptation to really like hit it out of the park and be good, and even less common for the adaptation to be better than the source material. Like there are examples, I think the Godfather films 1 and 2 are quite a bit better than the book, but like when you look at like something like this, like Angry Joe, he's just sitting there and he's like, yeah, when you make an adaptation, you're not supposed to make it worse. Like, yeah, Joe. Yeah. Like what an insight. Like I certainly didn't come to that same conclusion when I was watching Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and seeing them butcher like the time travel and butcher like that scene in the Shrieking Shack where they're all just like badly explaining like the lore and like how like Pettigrew was really behind it all. Like, yeah. Like this isn't something that like anybody else has noticed before, Joe.
Reason why this is one of the best-selling comics,
Wait,
especially
what?
for Supergirl. It's super reason to adapt something. You're not supposed to make it worse. There is a reason why this is one of the best-selling comics, especially for Supergirl. It's Supergirl's best-selling comic. There's a reason.
Wait. Is he implying that Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, is the best-selling comic ever? Hang on, I'm not a comic fan, so we're gonna have to check that. Let's see here. Oh, hang on, where's my? Yeah, sorry, but we gotta research this. Okay, Superman, Superwoman, Woman of Tomorrow, best-selling book. Uh, Yeah, with the announcement by James Gunn on 2022, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow almost immediately sold out for most booksellers. So it sold out because of the movie. What a fucking retard. Okay. Is the best selling comic ever. No, Supergirl World of Tomorrow is not the best selling comic ever. While highly acclaimed, the series fell well short of all time records in the medium. The title of the single best selling American comic issue of all time belongs to X Men #1, which sold nearly 8.2 million copies. What? Okay. Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, so what I understand from this is that like the the um the book had a resurgence of popularity because the movie was confirmed, but it's not the best-selling comic ever made. It's not like I don't even know if it's like the best-selling Supergirl comic. Like again, I'm not an expert on this kind of thing, but like, and even if it was, like, Western comic books are getting raped by manga anyway. Like the best-selling Western comic ever is like has only sold like 8.6 million units. Like how much more has like the average One Piece volume sold than that? You know what I mean? Like it's like there are like several manga volumes I think that have sold more than that. So like you look at this and you're just kind of like, what are you talking about? You like it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Season. So you took the story and you done fucked it up. That's what bothers me the most
I
about
might
the
read the
Supergirl
book
film.
just to
In
see.
addition to all of the rest, the muddy visuals, the bad writing, the lack of character arc, you just fucked up the character of Supergirl. And when I heard that Anna says and the team and Craig Gillespie and Anna said, we're gonna do this over 3 days instead of 3 months and narration style here. That's when I knew, oh shit, your difficulty just
He, he's he's really acting as if he's never seen the movie before. He's really acting like his second viewing is like it's the first time he's ever seen this movie before. And he's acting like he didn't like go to bat for it, like pre-release and like immediately after release. Like now he's doing this thing like, oh yeah, now that on my second viewing, I can see all the problems. Like, no, bitch. Like you should have had all this figured out on your first viewing because you're a critic and that's like literally your job.
went through the fucking roof because Ruthie gets less annoying. One of the things people have problems with is Ruthie's annoying, but she grows over time. Joe said that she was annoying. I didn't find her that annoying because I saw this version of Ruthie in her. And she's pretty accurate with that, but you just didn't have enough time, or the film didn't depict her growth as well. Suddenly, she becomes a superhero at the end, just taking out super strength brigands. Aren't they supposed to have super strength? At one point, they hold a tank with a single arm, and Ruthie chokes one out. That doesn't make sense, guys. The fucking script and the screenplay and the story, they messed up. And I found out confirmation today was released today that the writer, Anna, and I hate to put this on just one person's shoulder. I'm sure Craig had some. Actually, Craig had a quote that said, I didn't even bother to read the comic before I drafted up my first pitch. That's not a good start, buddy. That's not a good start for his visual pitch. That might be why your movie
That's like that's so common with these Hollywood adaptions though. Like these people are obsessed with like putting their own spin on it and putting their own woke propaganda and it's really something that needs to be like condemned like industry wide. Like nobody wants the Hollywood version of like some iconic story. And I do think that this is something that we do need to like point out more. Like if it's not a faithful adaptation, I am just not interested. But like the issue with this, I think, is that like I'm sure Supergirl fans were aware that this was not going to be a faithful adaptation. People were pointing out all these things when the trailer dropped and with the interview and stuff like that. And Joe chose to plug his ears and ignore it like a child and spurred out over everybody acting as like this was going to be like terrible, anybody who dared like question the quality of Supergirl got like upset. And like what you have to understand is like Joe didn't even like the first Superman movie that much, right? You know, he didn't go to bat for it nearly as much of Man of Steel. And like the like if this is a direct sequel to like Superman, right? If this is the follow up, like wouldn't you expect it to be the same level of quality and like expect them to not really live up to your expectations? Like it's just blind fanboyism is what it is. Like he'll just keep consuming slop.
It's like shit. Why it looks like shit. And you didn't take anything
Wait.
from the comic.
Did he just say why it looks like shit twice?
That's not a good start, buddy. That's not a good start for his visual pitch. That might be why your movie looks like shit. Why it looks like shit.
Wait. Did he just say why it looks like shit twice? Like, was that an edit problem? Like, I don't know.
And you didn't take anything from the comics. Here's the confirmation that Anna had no understanding. She didn't grasp the themes that were in the comic.
Yeah, the deep, complex themes in the comic book.
Supergirl, spoilers, but Jesus, this is spoilers. We're in spoiler territory. This is just the ending, the whole crux of the film, what happens at the end. Supergirl
How's my volume, by the way?
Says the ending of Supergirl was decided early on because the comic book ends with Ruthie killing Krem. You dumb fuck. Are you not going to ask anybody? Are you not going to check? Did nobody on the team talk to you? Did you only talk with Craig? And nobody on set and nobody in production?
But like, why is he bringing up this now, right? Like, was this tweet before release? Hang on.
On the team talk to you? Did you only talk with Craig? And nobody on set and nobody in production? The comic ends with Ruthie.
Let's see. Yeah, he doesn't give the date. Yeah.
Killing Krem, but in the far, far future. It's like.
But yeah, these are the things that like had fans concerned going into this. This is why people were like well aware this is going to be a shit heap like way before it came out, right? Like this is why people were so upset is that they were noticing things like this. And instead of like siding with them, Joe, you know, like the fans, you chose to be a corporate bootlicker and just like bent over backwards to like simp for Supergirl. It's just ridiculous.
Something. We know we weren't going to be able to do that kind of time jump, and I find it's quite a dark ending of the comic. It's not a dark. She doesn't kill Krem. So it's not a dark ending, and yes, you can do time jumps. You can. Audiences are not as stupid as you think. Even there's a lot of evidence contrary, but they can handle time jumps. He essentially has changed, and she kills him anyway because he's begging for his life. He's in the they put him in the Phantom Zone instead of killing him. They pull him out of the Phantom Zone. Here's Ruthie. She's old as fuck, and he's begging for his life. There, begging, forgive me, forgive me. She sees the final panel, and she sees and interprets it as Ruthie killing Krem. Now, granted, it kind of looks like she's got a sword or something, and the blood is coming out after she stabs him. And the narration itself actually says, instead she moved her sword swiftly through the air and stabbed down through the chest of the kneeling brigand. But you have to understand that the narration that has been going on the entire time, there is an unreliable narrator. You have to take everything in context. There's a little nuance. Again, nobody understands nuance anymore. But you can even see, let's say you don't even see that, and you just look at the visuals. She is an old woman smacking him with her cane. That's her smacking him with the cane. He falls down. He even goes, ah.
Oh, okay. Is this a cope? Because, like, if the narration straight up says she, like, stabbed him, then like doesn't that like is this a cope? Like, because I don't know what happens in the actual comic. So like, is Joe claiming that like something completely different happened? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know what to say, but like again, I would hate to have to read the comic to get the full context of this, but like, um, even if this was true, like going by my plebeian view on this, just by looking at it, like I feel like it's an ambiguous situation, and there's room for like interpretation. I know like that the Killing Joke story that from that hack Alan Moore, it ends with like Batman like choking Joker, right? Like the big debate is whether or not like Batman actually killed him there, right, or not. And it's left ambiguous. Like it's left ambiguous as to like what actually happens in that shot or that panel. So I feel like this is kind of going for the same vibe. I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't read comics because I'm not illiterate. I don't enjoy looking at pictures. I'm not 5 years old. But like my interpretation like is that like yeah, it's ambiguous. You know what I mean? And like if the narration says a certain thing, like I think there's reason to believe that it's true.
Like this, you see, he's like, "Ow." And he puts his head down, and I guess she interprets puts when he puts his hand down, she interprets that as him dying. That was not the point of the story. And I guess it's ambiguous if you're dumb.
What?
No, no, okay. Some people might think that he dies, fine, but they didn't want to spell it out for you. Upon repeat readings of the comic, you get it. You will get it. Even if you think that
Oh yeah, just like how you slowly went from like hating like or disliking the original like 2025 Superman to slowly reviving your score until it was like an 8 out of 10 because like you just got it now, bro. It's just like I think it's just a cope, honestly. Like going by this is the kind of like fan wank bullshit that fanboys use to justify like convoluted storylines in comics. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, she didn't actually kill him because she's too morally good of a person. Like it's just like, what? What are you talking about?
something else, even though it's right here. But even if it's not right there, Tom King, the guy who fucking wrote it, it's not supposed to be ambiguous. Graham is supposed to be alive at the end. So they thought that they were so clever. Anna thinks that Ruthie kills Graham. So she thought she was so clever. Okay, I'm going to condense the time, and I'm going to have Supergirl kill Krem at the end, saving Ruthie. These are terrible, terrible themes. Terrible character arcs. After the whole film, Supergirl's like, "Don't kill her. Don't kill Krem. It'll fuck you up. Don't kill Krem." And she turns around and she turns into a hypocrite and kills Krem. No. That's not a powerful story. That's not
What?
something that
Wait,
upon repeat viewings
this is the same guy who defended like Superman killing Zod in Man of Steel, by the way. Like what? What is he talking about?
that is
By the
good.
way, if you don't know my views on this, I am not a fan of the whole like if you kill him, you'll be just like him thing. I think that's like pure propaganda. I think that's like one of the more despicable things that the establishment has tried to ingrain in our culture. It needs to stop.
Good that makes me like it more. Whereas in Superman, this is worse on every level. It fucks up the character of Supergirl. And I guess what they wanted to do is they wanted to combine, because it kind of looks like she's a mess at the beginning, but by the end, it's kind of revealed that she's more competent and has a bigger heart than, she initially let on. A little bit of subterfuge. And that she's already a little bit of a paragon of truth and justice and the right. I guess what they wanted to do is they wanted to get a younger version of Wonder Woman who's less
Wait,
experienced and then inject it.
Wonder Woman. Wait, he said Wonder Woman. He's getting his like DC characters mixed up. Wonder Woman. What? What a fucking retard. Let's replay that.
A younger version of Wonder Woman who's less experienced and then inject it into this story, which doesn't work because I guess this
What?
one, she is a little bit more competent and experienced. Even though she's messy as hell, you could tell that she has a bigger heart and she is more experienced, and she kind of, uses this opportunity to try to teach something to Ruthie, but then she also learns something, right? And that's this version, and that's the version that we were hoping to see, but they put in a younger version of Supergirl who's brash and makes a bunch of decisions, gets a family killed, an entire family killed. And in the most frustrating way, Ruthie is about to kill Krem at one moment in the film, and Supergirl, instead of slamming into Krem to pull Krem out of there and bring him to justice, she slams into Ruthie, takes Ruthie out of there. Krem disappears, and what does he do when he disappears? He cuts the throat of the father, stabs the mother, and kills a child. And that's Supergirl's fault. It's Supergirl's fault. She fucked
My
up.
bad.
I would like to admit, no. It's see, that's Krem. That's Krem's fault. Yeah, it's Krem.
Is he trying to say that like Supergirl can't be allowed to make mistakes? That like, she showed mercy to this guy, and that's like, oh man, an entire family was killed. Like, it's like, I don't know.
It's fault too, but it's Supergirl's fault. She could have let Ruthie kill him. Okay, I'll give you. Let's argue that Ruthie would have brought down the sword. He would have blocked it, or she's inexperienced. He would have just elbowed her. Fine, but you have to hit Krem at that moment, not Ruthie. And it's a weird moment in the film, and that's when it turned from me like disliking the film on second viewing to hating the film.
What?
At that moment when Supergirl fucks that up. And then from then on,
so his cope is that like the only reason why he hates the movie is like the ending, because that's what he's been emphasizing in this, is that very specifically he's complaining about the ending and like what it means for Supergirl's characterization throughout the story, and like oh man, like it ruined the entire thing. So like what he's trying to imply is that like the rest of the movie is good, but like the ending fucked it up.
it's just Supergirl, doing action scenes and not bothering to like pay attention to saving people or her objectives. She just kind of just beats people up randomly. Um, she does save a few of these women who run out of their cages in the initial thing with Lobo and her on the planet when the main ship is dropping these girls. But later on in the film, when she shows up and Ruthie is on the motherfucking battleship and she falls off of the battleship, she's hanging on the battleship the whole time. And Supergirl's just up here, la 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 la. La 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 la, fighting everybody, and like Superman would have immediately went to help Ruthie, but Ruthie, I guess, because they wanted her to have her own little action scene where she's fucking tumbling and grabbing the wire at the last minute, which none of it I believe. It doesn't make any sense. And then Lobo throws Krem down there too, so then he's hanging on a wire while she's hanging on a wire, and they slowly fall off the wire and harmlessly land on the floor as the ship is coming down. It just sucks. It's just stupid. And that's when it turned into hatred, because you fucked up. You fucked up the Supergirl character. And then obviously the ending where she kills, you completely misunderstood. So here are some things. We'll start with bad stuff. Oh my God. I didn't initially... I hate upon second viewing when Supergirl goes on the bus, and the space pirates show up to rob people. But just before that, Ruthie does something to piss off the alien that somebody in the art department fucked up with, and ended up making a Star Wars character in an art where the original artist of this book had to pull down the art. And because it was actually from Star Wars and not the design, the two creatures look extremely similar. Anyway, the creature in the Supergirl film starts screaming at Ruthie, and she goes. Oh, Supergirl gets up, goes over there to protect Ruthie, and then she does the cringiest. Oh my God. Her jaw opens really wide and back at us like, oh God, I hated that when people were doing it in the early 2000s in 1999 with all the horrors where their jaws would come in. But it looks so bad. It looks so bad. It looks worse on Millie. It's stupid and cringy. I hate it. I hate it. I just had to bring that up. But basically, on the bus is where all these problems start. I want to say that at this point in the film, I'm actually on board. I'm actually kind of liking it. I said, this is not that bad, you know? It's not exactly like the comics, but it's creating its thing here. And I'm liking it so far. But then, yeah, it gets worse. Let's show you. And then the problems are huge by the time that family gets killed, and I turn it into hating. Um, there are good moments in the film that I took notes on. I will give you that once she flies all around and beats people up, but then she notices that the family got killed, her fault. She, you could see the tears in her eyes as she's walking around, and people are all running around her, and she's kind of, out of it because she realized what's happened and what she's done. She does fly up and then screams in space, and you can't hear anything. And I liked that moment, and I worry that the reason why they let this family and and daughter get killed and make it Supergirl's fault is so that we can see her morality and so that we can see the effect on that, and the audience understands that she's a good person. But
What?
I think the message gets fucked up because the audience is more like, you did that, you fucked that up, you know. And if that's the intended message, why do that? Because you're gonna have audiences turn on Supergirl, and you're gonna have to like this that you didn't need to do that. That's not in the comic. It's not in her character. And sure, I get it because it's like Man of Steel, where I kept defending Man of Steel. Henry Cavill's version of Superman, this is Elseworlds. Yes, there are maybe hundreds of people getting killed in the city, maybe thousands, as you see the thing go up and down and slam people. But he hasn't been on the block. He hasn't been on patrol. He's
What?
inexperienced. He's doing the best he can. It's one Superman versus 500 Superman.
What? What is he talking about? So he's still defending like Man of Steel on like the city destroying thing. It's like, who are you trying to fool? Like, there's a reason everybody hates that. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
In that film, 50 Superman, whatever. And bad shit is going to happen. And so I guess that's what they said. Bad shit happened in that movie. Bad shit can here. Bad shit happens, so as long as we show our character crying about it and emotional about it, audiences will identify with her. No, 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 no. You fucked that moment up, and I think that punches people out. Um, one other thing I noticed even more upon second viewing is the motherfucking brigands have a dimensional portal. So in my original review, I was like, they should have used the Mordru orb, where he teleports out, and that's when he originally takes her to the green planet. They do. They've got some kind of portal. So instead of having the goddamn battleship at the end of the battle scene in one of the planets just fly off, and maybe the limitation is they don't have the goddamn fuel to go to a planet without a yellow sun. Yeah, it's got a green sun, but it's all got a yellow sun. Instead of saying something like that there's a fuel limitation or money limitation, no, they just pop out of existence and pop in somewhere else. That makes it so much stupider. I know they're trying to raise the stakes. Oh my God, Supergirl has no idea where they went, so she's got to go and interrogate this one alien dude. But it's fucking stupid. It creates a fucking plot hole. They could have just teleported to a fucking red sun. They could have teleported to a green sun only, not with a yellow sun. Do you see what happens when you try to condense the story into 3 days? It creates these shorthand things. As soon as the green sun falls, then the yellow sun rises, and then we can go to the next moment. No. A lot of things she needs to train her dog. Supergirl needs to train this dog. By the end, I'm so frustrated with Krypto. I think the cuteness has kind of worn off. I hate to say that because I love Krypto, But I'm still angry that Crypto's not Superman's dog. This
Oh, come
is
on.
the one aspect of this comic, it's like this version of Supergirl, Crypto is Supergirl's dog. And I always see Crypto as Superman's dog. It's different stories, different things. That's the creative choice they've taken. I'm a little salty over it still, but whatever. I just wish they would use some practical effects with Crypto, because the CGI Crypto is just fucking, it's not working as effectively as it should, especially when he's getting hit and his eyes roll back and he's like shaking. It doesn't hit as right as a practical effect. The whole time they're using practical effects everywhere, but not here with Crypto. And I get it because he's flying and he has superpowers. But anyway, she needs to fucking train that dog. Man of Tomorrow, that better be a more well behaved.
So that dog hasn't been super trained. The dog hasn't been prepped for all the things that like he can do. Like, did they even like house train him? Like, does he even know not to pee all around the Fortress of Solitude? Like, I don't know, man. Like, the fact that they haven't trained the dog is just insane to me.
Crypto because it's out of control. He just tears shit up all the fucking time at Clark's house, at her house, at everything. It's like, get your shit together, girl. Part of getting your shit together, because she says she's no longer, her bar hopping days are behind her, which is good. That's her character arc, which was really weak. It needs to be a little better than that. A little. It needs to be a lot better than that one line. Then maybe she'll train her dog, but whatever. Um, Let's see. And then again, I agree with the one criticism a lot of people said that what is with the headphones? They try to make her a fucking Timu Star Lord. There's no reason for her to have the headphones. In the film they use it as her escape to just escape, reality. I kind of get it. Your planet's blown up, you don't have a home, and so you are going to use music. And music is very therapeutic for me. I love listening to music. I'll listen to heavy metal, to get frustration out and to just enjoy because it's fucking great. But, some people use the music to, calm down or teleport themselves elsewhere. So I get it, but it just comes off because of the James Gunn stuff, because of all this stuff. There's like no reason for it in the film. Maybe a little bit extra there would have helped, and maybe it is in a longer cut. Apparently, I think there's 30 minutes cut from the film. I don't think those 30 minutes could really help it or make it better. In fact, there's probably potential to make it worse. But I do hope we eventually see some of that at the end, because there's stuff with Krem and his backstory and his creepiness towards Ruthie that they cut out, that's confirmed, that people saw it at press screenings before they clipped it. And going back to good things, personally, I didn't find Ruthie that annoying. It's true that and again, probably because I've read the
Like,
comic.
it's just a giant cope. Yeah, why I hated Supergirl. Yeah, he's just like beating around the bush and like refusing to address like all the real problems with this movie. He's like he's just nitpicking about things that like don't really matter. Like, you just know he's gonna end this video and just be like, guys, I bet when I watch it again, I'll really really like it. It's just like, come on, Joe, come on, Joe.
It's true that she never stays put, and that's fucking annoying. But to me, I wouldn't stay put either.
Crypto's an
Like,
ass.
uh, you know, and it's always depicted as a positive every time in the film. I'd want revenge if somebody killed my family too, right? And I'd probably make it my sole goal to go out and fucking kill this guy or bring him to justice or whatever. So her steadfastness on always being laser focused on that and being annoying about it, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I understand that is her character trait, but sometimes for some mass audience goers or viewers, if one character is annoying, then that's it. If they exhibit annoying behavior, that's it. For me, it's like, if you're annoying, you have to have a good excuse for it, and then hopefully by the end grow. And by the end, she grows, but the growth is mostly here. So that's why it works a little for me, and probably why it doesn't work as well for some of the moviegoers that find her annoying. Because you're right, she didn't really grow as much as she should have on screen. In fact, she grows too much. She goes the other way. She becomes that superhero where she's able to fucking choke somebody. We'll get to it. Krem eats too much throughout the whole fucking film. It just bothers me. It's shorthand. You'll notice, and I noticed this way back in fucking every villain type centric thing. If you see they just eat, and it's kind of like I guess they're just casual and disrespectful, and they're casual about killing and their life. It's just shorthand, but this motherfucker does it for everything. He eats the fucking cereal. He eats the pie. It's like, it's okay if you do it once or twice. They do it every fucking time. He eats the pie. He eats the fucking worms, her prison food. He even eats her fucking prison food. He eats the fucking cereal. He fucking is just chewing on something randomly when, he's walking out in the big fight. It's like at least 4 or 5 times. It's stupid. I can see where he was going to take her as a bride. So so the rumors are that some of these cut scenes has to do with Krem's backstory and also his threats to Ruthie that he's going to take her specifically as a bride. And I can see where that is in the film because he tells her at one point, "You're going to die before she dies before the end of the day." But that line is 80 yard, and it's when they're in prison, and it's when he's getting up and kind of walking out, and they kind of shift cuts to Lobo's reaction shot and his second in command reacting. And I think it's because this is where they cut out the scene where he, like, basically, he's like, let's make a deal. He's like talking to her, makes a deal, but they cut out all the stuff where he's going to keep her alive to
Like, what
use
is
her as a
this?
bride.
Like,
And
he's
that makes
not
sense
making
because
any
why the
real
fuck
valid
is he
points.
just keeping her? Just take the fucking.
Like, he's just sitting there rambling about nothing, honestly. Like, I don't even know if I want to watch all of this because, like, we're like 20 minutes in. We're like halfway through the video. Not even halfway. Yeah, a little under halfway. And he's not making a cohesive point. Like, he's just sitting there nitpicking about shit that, like, nobody cares about. Like, no, there's not really all that much talk about, like, the characterization of Supergirl or, like, all the things that, like, people are having problems with. Like, he just says something about the ending and then starts bitching about, like, minor changes from the adaptation. Like, I don't think people are that upset that this isn't a one-to-one, like, adaptation of the comic. Okay, like, I don't feel as if, like, that's a good representation of, like, what people's problem with this movie actually is. It's just my mindset. I haven't read the book. I haven't watched the movie. I haven't even really been following the controversy that closely because I didn't watch the original Superman. I didn't watch 2025. So
Sword, kill her right there, and you're done. So because they made that
died.
change, it doesn't make any sense, right? It's like, why didn't they just kill her, right? But it's because they cut out a whole plot point. I guess they thought it was too creepy, or test audiences didn't like the implications. And upon second viewing, they made Lobo worse. I was over here trying to make excuses for Lobo, or trying to search. Like, I viewed him as an absolute badass.
Lobo was, like, the most well-received part of this movie. Like, even, like, Ashton and Andy, they came out and said, like, yeah, like, Lobo was fucking awesome. Like, he's complaining about Lobo, the most beloved part of the film.
But they're right. When he's in prison, he is legitimately captured. I thought it was a ruse. He says a hunter set traps. So I thought he let himself get captured, but there's logic problems with that. Is like, why? Well, maybe this way he can destroy the whole ship later, or he can get other stuff and then get his target and get out. But because his target takes his bike at one point. But I thought he was intentionally doing that because when Ruthie goes around, he goes, "Aren't you forgetting something?" And I thought he was talking about something else. But I think he's talking about letting him out. And she comes over, and initially I thought he kicked the door before she unlocks it. This doesn't make any fucking sense. They didn't bother to explain it. A cage like this cannot hold somebody who has the strength of Superman on the Superman scale and level. Was he weakened? Did he have poison? He did mention that the top of the fucking spikes are poisoned, but at no point do they show that he's poisoned. And sure, the top of the fucking cage has poison, but then and now if he's fine and he takes a nap and wakes up, he could break out of the cage. So it's a contrived plot point. It makes no sense, and it's just there because they wanted another Lobo scene, which I don't fault. We should have had more Lobo scenes. We should have had more Superman scenes. By the way, that's another thing that they cut. There was apparently like 2 or 3 more scenes with Superman, which everybody agrees, even people I talked to outside of the theater, those were the best parts when Superman was there. So that gives me hope that when Superman's next film comes, they were like, man, those are the best parts of Supergirl. We're here for Superman. So I'm hoping for that. But yeah, she actually unlocks the door and then he kicks it. It's almost simultaneous. But she does. You hear the clicking and the unlock sound, and then he kicks the door. So that's why I was mistaken. It was so close. Um, there's that one moment. I don't know if it's a continuity error, but as she's laying on the green planet in the green sun, getting all killed and wiped out, there's no fucking dinosaurs as there is in this comic. That was so
What?
goddamn cool and made everything
What?
way better.
Wait. So the movie doesn't have dinosaurs, and that like ruined the movie for you because there are no dinosaurs in a Superman comic. Like, who cares? Who the fuck cares?
Here's all the dinosaurs.
Yeah, whoa,
And
dinosaurs,
Ruthie, this
crazy.
is the Ruthie moment. Ruthie
Never
wakes
saw
up.
those in a comic
And
before.
Ruthie just, you kind of buy that maybe she can do a little bit with her sword in here as opposed to the thing. But in this, no dinosaurs. She's just like, bleh, as Joe would say, bleh, with her tongue out, and she's dying. But she has a cut on her head that seemed to randomly appear there. I'm wondering if there's another cut scene.
It's a Harry
There
Potter
was
scar.
dinosaurs, and they just had to take them out or shorten it or something. Because I don't remember her showing up. I mean, I know she just got done with the battle on the other planet, but I don't remember her getting cut. So, look for that. Don't see it, but look for that. I also like on the Lobo. I forgot Lobo said, "See you tits." He calls Supergirl tits.
What?
See, they get that's misogynistic, that's sexist, but it's there.
What? Oh, come on.
This film's not too woke, as people online would say. That's not the problem, guys. That's not the fucking problem. And often it's not the problem. Often it's really bad writing and a weak script. In this case, all the performances, I would say all the performances, even Krem, were good. They're doing the best with the material that they were given. But how Anna, who has zero experience, she wrote like, I don't know, like a short thing or something like that.
Nepotism.
How she gets to helm the
She sucks a hell of a dick.
film in the DCU, something so big and so important, it might have
What?
just been too much for her.
Important. It's a Supergirl movie. Like, nobody cares about fucking Supergirl. Like, what do you mean by important? Like, it's just a Supergirl movie. Like, I would say a movie like this is actually where you need, like, to kind of develop, like, new upcoming talent, right? Because, like, this is Supergirl. You don't want, like, your primary writers working on it. You need, like, younger talent to kind of cultivate the character and kind of, expand the universe without, like, I don't know, like, I feel as if this movie should have been treated like a spin-off project and not like some major big budget thing. Again, Supergirl is kind of a hard sell in general.
And it's also James Gunn's fault because he said, quoted, I read every script. I'm not going to greenlight a script until the script is good. And this one might have been good on paper, but it didn't. No, because the ending choice.
What?
The ending
What?
choice was made a long time ago, and he knew what the ending choice
What?
was. In fact, it's actually James Gunn's fault for the needle drop. That was probably the biggest discussion, and it was down to the very last week. I just got to credit James for that one because
What?
apparently the middle was the last break, and I hated this needle drop. And the second time, it's even worse because actually The song that's playing right before, and it plays for a little bit, but while things are slowed down and there's action happening, is a much better song. It's like a theme song. Supergirl has shitty music. You don't even really
What?
remember the Supergirl theme, but I
Wait,
think
wait, wait, wait. We're at the point now where he's spurging out about the soundtrack. Like, who cares? Like, not a single person is bitching about the soundtrack. There are a lot more like prevalent problems with this freaking movie.
think it's here in this scene, but then it gets faded out, and with the worst rendition of the middle I have ever heard. I don't know who sings it, but they fucked it up. And I want on the fucking, DVD to try to save this film, fucking choose one of the other choices. Okay? Put in the alternate ending, change everything, and put in the different fucking needle drop song. Stay here. Just said so much, and so that's why I understand people notice that Ruthie doesn't stay. It's like you got to write something different, give a different reason. You can't just stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here. It gets in people's head, and it's weak writing. But again, and upon so is it all bad upon rewatch? There's like one or two good moments. I like when Ruthie is crying in Supergirl's arms after she decides not to kill Krem, you know, like the comics. But you
What?
think that she did kill Krem. She decides not to kill Krem, and she's like, "I take it all back. I want to go back to the way it was. I want to have my parents and my brother alive." It's fucking sad. And Supergirl is there with a warm embrace, as a superhero should, as Superman would. Perfect. It's good. But then they fuck it up. Because as soon as she walks off, Supergirl side eyes her, notices that she's left, and she goes and kills Krem. No. And why? Because she deserves it. Because he deserves it. Anna says he deserves it. Because she still has this anger. And you understand there's this element of deserve, right? Yeah, just because somebody deserves to be killed in revenge
What?
doesn't mean it's the right thing. Doesn't mean that our
What?
hero can do it.
Wait. This is coming from the same guy. I know I said this already, but I'm repeating myself. But like this is coming from the same guy who defended Superman killing General Zod at the end of like Man of Steel. Okay, he is really pushing this idea that like killing people is bad, killing bad guys is bad. Heroes should never do that. It's just like, come on, Joe, you're
Our heroes are supposed to rise above that.
what a
It's supposed to
Democrat.
be a fucking teachable moment as well. This sucks, man. They missed the whole fucking point of it. She says, "This is for what you did to that little girl." So that line where she goes, "This is for my dog," and then the final thing where she cuts him in the neck, which is the silliest CGI thing I've seen. She says, "This is for what you did to that little girl." Now she could, I think it's a line that tries to double meaning. It could mean Ruthie, but it could also mean the little girl that you got killed, Supergirl, and her family that got killed with the sword earlier because you fucked up. So it's both. So is there any fucking choices that Craig Gillespie made right? Before reading the comic, he came up with the visual style, and one of the big pieces that I think he was right on was the fact that he didn't want to put her in the suit until the very end. She's got to be not in the suit, and then she earns the suit, and then in her moment of triumph, she's in the suit. That's fine. I like the suit element in this. I even like when Supergirl's like, "It's just a suit, Ruthie. It's nothing special. It's just a piece of crap." But then she realized the suit is special. Yeah, it doesn't have superpowers. It's not an armored suit like Iron Man. But when she puts it on, it's special. And that was right. Just small little nuggets of goodness in this piece of shit thing.
What?
And then her arc, way stronger here. She kind of knew right from wrong the whole time, but she just is a different. She's a different character than Superman.
So okay. So this isn't really like a condemnation of the movie. Like it's just him vaguely just flailing around, just saying that like, well, the comic was better. The comic was better. The comic was better. And it's like, Joe, nobody cares about the comic. Talk about the movie. Okay.
I want Supergirl to be the Girl Scout, like Superman's the Boy Scout. We don't need two of those kinds of characters. I like that they're different, but They didn't do her character arc as well here. The most she says is, "My pub days are behind me, and I guess I'll stick around here." And Superman's like, "Good, I'm happy, I'm glad." And that's Superman, and I like him. I just hate that the whole film ends on, "Oh, he's in chocolate. We got to get him out of the chocolate." It's a weird ending, and no after credits. It's just so weird. It's like it's almost like they're saying, "Yeah, this film ain't worth it. It's not worth it enough. It's not worth it for you to stay to the end of the credits and we'll see all these people that did hard work." Even though, if you look at some of the sets and stuff, it's actually pretty cool and a lot of practical effects that they then hide with muddy visuals and dark. Everybody's in dark faces, and but it just sucks. Yes, it does have a lot of action. Yes, there are some cool moments here and there, and I think that Millie is does a good job as a Supergirl, and I think that Momoa does a great Lobo, and people gave a shit because we at one of the ending of one of my trailer reactions, I'm like, go out and support, Supergirl, see the Superman. My audience knows how much I like Superman. I'm gonna tell, let's go out and support. I told people.
Oh, he's coping. He is coping about like what he did. So yeah, if you don't know, if you didn't watch the trailer, he's basically just saying that like he's complain like he the trailer looked bad, and he tried to glaze it, and he tried like really forcing people, like very strongly, like suggesting people to go see this movie, and of course there was like pushback for it because he wasn't willing to admit that the trailer looked like shit and that the movie was going to be bad, and now he's trying to like damage control it. Like what a dipshit.
Black Adam, for Christ's sake, because I wanted Henry Cavill to get another shot as Superman. And that was a bad film. I don't give a fuck about telling people, go see bad films. Sometimes you have to see a bad film or how bad it is so that we can talk about it and how hilarious it is. But in this case, we wanted to support it so we could see more Superman, so we could see the DCU do well, so we could see a Lobo film. I don't know if we're going to see a Lobo film now. I'm extremely worried that they're like, nope, this is not going to work. One of the big criticisms I agree with is why was Anna picked? You almost it's all easy to fall into that.
The problem is not in the adaptation; it's in the choice to adapt the deconstruction before they've even constructed her character. Is Woman of Tomorrow meant to be a deconstruction? I don't know. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of like the concept of deconstructions in general, because what it boils down to in practice is that it's just woke filmmakers trying to like destroy heroic archetypes. So like I don't really respect the concept of a deconstruction. Like they're inherently just made to like make heroes look ridiculous.
That Travers like, she's a woman, and that's why she picked James Gunn likes her. She's hot, or some bullshit. No, there's a story. Like, I was genuinely curious.
Is that the writer?
Why would you let somebody with no experience fuck this up and then give her Teen Titans and Wonder Woman? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What is
She's gonna fuck up Teen Titans so hard. I'm so pissed. I'm a huge Teen Titans fan.
I needed to know more about this instead of just blaming that she's a woman and it's DEI and all this other stupid shit.
Blaming she's a woman. Okay, so you're not allowed to have pattern recognition. You're not allowed to notice that like women have a long history of ruining these fucking franchises. Like, you're gonna question like her credentials and her credibility, like her talents as a writer. But don't you dare bring up the fact that like her being a woman probably is a major reason why she was brought onto the project. Like, don't bring that up, Goy. Like, don't do it. Like, just like.
Well, here's the story. If you want to know the story. So Anna Nogueira came from acting and theater, wrote acclaimed plays, was initially hired under the old Warner Brothers regime to develop a completely different Supergirl movie starring Sasha. So I'm sure that would make a lot of the Snyder bots happy and fans. That there was actually a Supergirl film in production with Sasha. Now, I guess from the reception of Flash and the failure of that, DCEU, and then rebooting everything, that never actually happened. The movie died with the old DCEU. Now, her previous deal expired. She had a child. When James Gunn and Peter Safran took over, they had to come. She had to compete for the job again, like any other freelance writer. Executive producer Chantal continued backing her. DC liked her work, I guess, on this old script. And Nogueira ultimately landed a new Supergirl before being assigned Teen Titans and Wonder Woman. So, we now know she's not protected by a massive multi-picture contract. She's working project to project. That changes the conversation. If Supergirl underperforms or fails to connect, DC can quietly reconsider these assignments without technically firing anyone or breaking a larger deal. So, you know, it sucks when you do a bad job on something like this that you feel the effects and you possibly get fired. I hate it when
Wait. So he is simping for the writer of this. Like, he's trying to damage control the whole situation. He's like, yeah, she had no credentials. She produced a bad movie, but she shouldn't be fired for it. Like, what? Like, I don't understand the mindset. So you're telling me that, like, she bungled Supergirl, will probably bungle Teen Titans and Wonder Woman, right? She'll probably be like the Kathleen Kennedy of DC, the way she's going. And, like, Joe is just sitting there being like, oh, man, it sucks that she might be removed after this one project. Like, Joe, she sucks. She had her shy. Get somebody more competent. Get a man in there.
People get fired. Do I think maybe she might do a better job on a different film? Maybe. But I guess adapting this comic, not understanding this comic, and not staying true to the thing that you're adapting really fucked you over. And so I would prefer somebody else write Wonder Woman. I'd prefer somebody else write Teen Titans. Maybe she do a better job if she's not tied to having to adapt a comic that she doesn't fucking understand. But that throws red flags for me. And, you know, and honestly, a lot of the script wasn't that well done. Upon second viewing, like every single song choice, I except for maybe that Supergirl theme song that you barely hear and is barely there, is one that I dislike. I think Momoa has one song when he's throwing grenades on the fucking ship that I was like, all right, that's cool. That sounds like a badass song to play during an action scene. But every other one, I was like, ugh. It might appeal more to a female demographic, and that's what they thought. Maybe they were confused in who they were marketing this to.
What?
You're marketing this to men.
Okay. So Joe has this weird idea that, like, Supergirl is popular with, like, women, and that, like, Supergirl could do as well as the Barbie movie if, like, women showed up for it. And it's like, women don't read comics. Like, Supergirl is, like, her primary audience is men who want to fuck her, right? Who want to, like, insert themselves into her super vagina, okay? Like, Joe is just, like, he's coping about this. Like, it's just a giant cope. Like, women are never going to show up to something like this. Like, it's never going to be bigger than fucking Barbie. It's like, Barbie's like what? The most recognizable female toy in the world. Like an icon. I don't know if there's a female-centric brand bigger than Barbie, but, like, yeah, it's Barbie's like a huge deal. And like, Supergirl just is not. Like, if Supergirl was not attached to Superman, nobody would give a shit about her.
You know, and not women. Mostly men buy Supergirl comics, not women. But I know they were trying to bring in the women as well. So let's change all the music to cater to that audience, I guess. But it didn't work out. So ultimately, that's the second viewing of a Supergirl. Did it get worse? Yeah, it got worse. It's a 4 out of 10. So if you don't know, I rated it a 5 initially in the angry review. It was like average. It gets like half of it wrong and some of it right. But then as we were talking about it in spoilers, and when you realize the whole fucking point of the film, the soft character arc for Supergirl, where you don't feel her transition into the hero as much as you should, her killing at the end, all this other stuff, there's a fundamental failure. The lack of comedy, the muddy visuals, all this, it brings it down to below average. It's a 4, and it remains a 4 upon second viewing. And fuck,
how long until he, like, raises the score again? Because, like, if this is anything like Superman 2025, he's just gonna slowly crank the score up on, like, his reviewings until it's like at an above average score. It's I don't know. I like even if this score sticks, I think the problem is that Joe really made an ass of himself, like defending this movie. Like he really made it overly political and like alienated a good chunk of his audience because he wasn't willing to come out and like call this movie shit immediately. Like that's the problem. It's like it's too little, too late. I think is that he's trying really hard to like course correct, and I feel like it's not going to happen. And like he's still saying a lot of the same things he was saying early on about how the writer, how you can't blame her for being a woman, and how like the Barbie fans could show up someday. It's like he's just coping. He's coping.
Have to see this thing a third time, it's probably going to be a fucking 3. Okay, but we're being hyperbolic a little bit. This is not a 1 out of 10. This actually is a better film than the original Supergirl film, than
What?
Catwoman, than
Oh, base.
Elektra, than some of the shit that comes out. And honestly, I think I
So he's still saying it's better than like other female led Superman. So he's trying to say that like it's better than the original Supergirl. Uh, I don't know. I've never seen the original Supergirl, but like I don't know. I'm gonna press X to doubt on that because like surely the girl in that is at least hot, right?
I'd rather watch Supergirl than the Marvels. Because I don't like any of the characters in the
What?
Marvels,
Yeah, he's
right?
shilling
Like
for
their
Marvel again.
villain is fucking boring. Uh, but Krem at least has a little bit of style. He's always eating, and I kind of like the man's performance as him. Because the villain was, again, it's a weak villain, but the villain was never the point. But when you don't get the actual point from the comic and it's more about her growth and Ruthie's growth and them learning from each other, when you fuck that up, then yeah, of course people are going to be like, well, let's put it on the villain's shoulders. Was the villain interesting? No, but he wasn't the point. He's just evil for evil's sake, and that's what's here. He was a more interesting villain here, but at least this was a choice. It was a bad choice, but it was a choice. So yeah, it's but even Cram I think is better than the fucking I can't even remember the villain from the Marvels, Darby or something, Darben, Darben.
Okay, so I think this is how the cope is gonna start. Is that he's gonna say that Supergirl is still better than like other movies and other shows, and he's gonna slowly just keep expanding the list until he can get away with giving it like a 7 out of 10. That's what I imagine is gonna happen. What the fuck? Look at all those tabs. Like, what is he doing? Uh, yeah, Supergirl X X X. Look at all those X tabs. Why does he have so many?
Come on, you're telling me Cram is worse than Get out of here! No way. Graham is he's just one of those evil villains. This was an evil villain who was fucking boring as shit. All right. So, we're getting, I thought for a moment there, let me highlight some of the responses I've gotten to my
Oh,
Supergirl tweets.
oh
You
no,
see
he's
what
gonna do.
disgusting fucking shit. And when you click on the avatar, what they have in their bio and what they.
Well, okay. So here comes the good part where he like spurgs the fuck out about like conservatives shitting on him. So like, is he gonna show out heel versus babyface, neurotic, geeks and gamers? Is he gonna go after the casino? I'm curious.
Tweet about, and it's like every single person, the asshole on the internet that takes it too serious, that disagrees with me, is like
What?
this type. But I say, you know what? That's stupid. No, we're not doing that. So just know that I don't like Supergirl, and I think Supergirl is a flawed failure of a film. It fucks up the character, but it's not because it's woke. It's not because
What?
she's a woman. It's not because
What?
DEI hire and all the other reasons that all these other.
So this is the real reason why he's so pissed. Like you can not like the movie, but don't you dare suggest it's because of like DEI or like the female led projects. Like stop noticing things. Like it's like that's what he's mad about it. Like stop noticing things.
Channels just continue to rile you
Like,
up,
what?
guys, about it's bad writing, bad script. And I know some of you would say, well, all that is a symptom of all this other stuff. It's no, it's unrelated. Now, I will agree
What?
with you on certain things, nepotism, and favoritism, all that stuff. So we can
What?
agree on some things.
So
But
you're
let's
admitting
go
you're
ahead,
right? We're right?
instead of highlighting what dickbags and trolls say on YouTube and people who have been misguided. You cannot change anybody's mind with a single review or a single tweet. You cannot change somebody's worldview. But let's go ahead and look at some of the predictions, because obviously there's a lot of people invested in this thing failing, and they want the DCU to end after one failed movie. But for me, I always knew that this film was not going to make a lot of money, and that it was always going to be a bomb. I said it even before these other guys.
Wait, what? Did he say
So there
that?
it is.
Wait. So he's saying that he always said it was going to fail. I don't think that's true. I think he's
Film
coping.
was not going to make a lot of the movie, and they want the DCU to end after one failed movie. But for me, I always knew that this film was not going to make a lot of money, and that
Wait, what? So he's saying that he always knew it was going to fail? I feel like that's a cope. I feel like that's not true.
it was always going to be a bomb. I said it even before these other guys. But there it is. My prediction for the Supergirl box office. Lucky to make half of what Superman.
Yeah. So he said this in June 22nd. So this wasn't always, right? Because the trailer must have premiered way before then, right? Um, my predictions for Supergirl box office. Supergirl will be lucky to make half of what Superman did. About what I expected. Half. Isn't it like significantly less than half? First of all, like Superman 2025, that wasn't a huge success anyway. With about a Barbie female event crowd, it won't reach the number it needs. It will debut at number 2 from Toy Story 5, number 1. Oh, did it do that? I don't think it did. Opening weekend, 49 million. What? Mixed, bad villain, great action villain. It is not mixed. Then a huge second weekend drop off, maybe 65%. As Minions and Monsters comes in, it's going to be a bloodbath, unfortunately. Our review will be posted Wednesday night. Okay. Um, Again, I wasn't following this before he started spurting out about this, so I don't know exactly what he did.
Did
But I don't think it was
you can see
that.
there's a fourth of the comics. The female crowd wasn't engaged enough. Mostly males will see the film.
So he's trying to run
Without that
damage
Barbie
control.
event crowd, it's gonna debut number 2
Like it's just
behind Toy Story
nothing.
number 1.
Like he
That's
says nothing in
obviously,
this
but
fucking
it pays
video.
attention to box offices and how strong these franchises are, and how this one is. The last Supergirl film made 14 million total, and was one of the biggest box office failures. I didn't have much hope for a new Supergirl sequel, despite all the pizzazz and pomp and all that stuff. So I said domestic. I said the opening weekend total. Now this is global. I should have wrote global here for people that need to be handheld. It's 49 million. Domestic is 30 million. I'm predicting international 19 million. 39 million domestic. 30 million domestic. Pretty close. Pretty close. I am curious how it's doing in international. Okay, this is just June 26th right now. Okay, but what we can grab this is what I wanted to grab, the 38%. And if we look at Superman, so it's doing worse internationally than Superman by a few points. Okay, so that's 14.82 million. So you add 14. Oh, I thought it would do 19. So I was wrong on international, but I was a little under on domestic. More women may have shown up than I thought.
Oh, come
And
on.
then I was overestimating international, even though I was
Who
trying to
cares
go
about the
for
box
the
office?
lower number there. It's even
Okay. Talking about the box office numbers does not matter because like this movie has extraordinarily bad word of mouth. Okay, nobody's gonna go see this after like the opening weekend. It's gonna drop like a rock. Nobody fucking cares.
lower in international. International is probably going to be about 14 to 15 million, and domestic here is 39 to 40. So if you do that, then that's about 55 million. Huh. Total. If it's like 53 to 55 million, that's That's what I thought it would do. I mean, what did people think that the Supergirl was going to do? What did motherfucking Masters of the Universe? Stick opening here was 29. Oh my god. And then the domestic opening for Supergirl is 39, right? Yeah, domestic opening 39 compared to Masters of the Universe 29. So 10 more million dollars, like almost a third more than Masters of the Universe. Damn. The dudes really did not go to show up for He-Man. That fucking sucks. Even with good word of mouth. I think Masters of the Universe has some of the best word of mouth. I haven't heard a single person say this movie sucks. It's
Razor
the
fisted.
worst. It's always go out and see this. This thing has heart. It's funny. It's great. The characters are accurate to the fucking lore and shit.
It's not even
I
true.
hate it when good
Like
films fail. Um, so
they
Supergirl's
blackwashed
doing, I
Man at
guess,
Arms.
better than Masters, and so if we kind of track it on the same level, then by the end of its first few weeks, it'll probably be 130, 150. It would be a hard ass march to 300. I think in order to make up its box office numbers, it's gonna miss. It's gonna miss its production and
Who the fuck
marketing
cares?
and budgets.
No,
Probably a little more.
nobody came to this video for you to do like box office analyses. Like what people wanted you to do was explain why the Supergirl movie sucked, and like you didn't do that. You failed. It's 50 minutes of him just coping
Than
about the
Superman.
chuds.
So another middling thing, and of course the corporations and WB and DCU is going to claim success. I've already seen that they made 100 million already off of sponsorships. And so I guess you can put that towards the budget. So the budget's not 170, it's 70. If they got all this sponsorship money, I don't know. But that's not what you want to see. You want to see something more successful. I don't think that you would ever have seen something like Toy Story fucking numbers where it's reaching 300 million or it's making 150 upon opening.
Mario
That was
Galaxy outperformed
never
it, Joe.
going to be the thing. Honestly, I want somebody who's like a Supergirl hater, like an absolute, like this film is garbage, is a 1 out of 10. What did you expect the
What?
Supergirl numbers to be? Did you think
What?
it
Like
would make half a
I,
bit?
I I expected it to be good. Like the people going to see this are people who are like who grew up on the comic book era, right, movie era, who went to go see all the MCU films, and they're just like, oh, I'll go see Supergirl. Like that's the audience. Like it's not because Supergirl is like some hugely popular character because people wanted to see this. It's like people are going to see it because like superhero movies were the thing like back in the day, and it's just slowly falling
But
out
it
of
was never
fashion.
going to make as much as Barbie. So, what I'm saying is that the studios themselves knew that Supergirl was not going to be a box office hit higher than Superman. It was always going to make less than Superman.
Well, it's
How
not.
much less?
That's not the argument, though. Like the problem is that the movie didn't succeed in general. Like nobody was comparing. No, nobody thought it would outperform Superman, right? But like the issue is that the movie isn't good and that nobody wants to pay money to go see it.
They thought, I don't know. I think eventually, when all said and done, I think Supergirl is probably going to make a third of the total box office that Superman does. And yeah, there are so many problems with Supergirl, and
Yeah,
it
you
sucks
named so
because I
many of them,
want
Joe.
all of the super family to do well. Now, there's going to be people out there that
Is
enjoy the
crypto
film.
getting some of it?
Now, we're talking from our comic book and fan DCU fan centric stuff. Mass audiences obviously are always different. It's almost always higher. Let's see. Yeah, see, 77%. So, yes, most people that come out of it, yeah, I was entertained. But it's always artificially higher by, 10, 20%. This is far more accurate to what the actual, surprisingly far more accurate, because I expect more review bombings. It's getting review bombed tens and review bombed one on IMDb. But hell, even if you take that out of IMDb, it's still the unweighted average on IMDb. There it is. See, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. There's just a fucking ruinization of brain rot. And same thing here. The same thing here. It's like, bro, you're being hyperbolic. You've not seen a worse film. It's like, okay, so wow, this one's winning and they're fighting each other. But you take it out, and the unweighted mean, I think is what, about 6. It was like 5.5 or at one point. So I think it's probably even lower than that. How do you get Joe on board of, let's take James Gunn down, get him out of there, reboot the whole thing? How do you get that? You fuck up Superman, right? And
Oh,
he
come
hasn't done
on.
that. In fact, we're eating good as Superman fans. Next year, 10 months from now, 11 months from now, we're going to be watching a brand new Superman film with fucking Lex Luthor in the armor. I'm a little worried because I don't want it just Superman and Lex fighting again. There's got to be Brainiac. You have to bring somebody else. You have to bring the stakes up, okay? And we know Supergirl's in that film too, where she's helping Clark. You can't have her and Clark against armored Lex in the green and purple. No, you got to have Brainiac. Anyways, but they didn't even set up Brainiac and Supergirl. They fucked up the Kryptonian story in Supergirl. By the way, the architecture there is so
Oh,
stupid.
come on.
I hate the Kryptonian language, and I hate all this other. All right, I'm getting off topic. Oh my God, a fucking hour? Shit. Well, I was just discussing and you know, giving you my full thoughts on it. So I think that, how do you get James Gunn out of there? I think he's doing a good job on Superman and the projects he's doing. So as long as that continues, I want him to continue. So give him Man of Tomorrow. He's already got that. The Paramount merger is happening, but they're not going to be able to kick him out before that film happens. And then I think,
What a giant coat. So he's trying to like write off Gunn's involvement in this by saying that like, well, like he's working on his own projects as if he didn't approve the script. Like, that's the problem with this, is that like he did approve the script. We went over this. Like, he is responsible for the direction the DCEU is taking right now.
you should give him, and then Clayface will come out. But I think we should give him at least Batman. You know, he's
Oh,
getting
come
fucked over
on.
because Matt Reeves is taking so long, and he's like, hurry up so I get my Batman out there. And I think it's actually hurting him every day, his Batman film every day. It's hurting that Batman film's box office to have Matt Reeves' one come out, and then he's comes out right after, and it's just a new Batman. It's like, that's going to suck. It's going to.
Are they making 2 Batman films concurrently? Like, they need to stop, okay? Like, they need to stop milking that goose. Like, Batman is not cool, okay? Like, enough of this.
Rough. But give a Batman film, and then I would do one more, and then I do World's Finest. And if you fuck that up, it's over. Get him out.
But they did fuck it up already.
Even Zack Snyder had what, like 3 films, you know, to do his thing. And so we'll give James Gunn 3 films where, you know, he is in charge. So Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Batman, or World's Finest. So that might be 4. It depends on who he's going to be in charge of. All right. That is my complete thoughts on Supergirl second viewing, and Supergirl box office analysis, and DCU analysis, and all the meta fucking, you know, hyperbolic culture war bullshit that's surrounding any female-led superhero project, whether the actress shuts up in interviews or not, or keeps her mouth shut like people want. You know, so that's all of the encompassing opinions. Hope you enjoyed that. What is your opinions? Leave them down below. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.
What a complete cope. So he did. Oh, Pause it. Pause it, you idiot. Okay. Okay. So he did nothing to address like the actual problems with this movie. Okay. Like he just had some vague notion that like the ending sucked and that like it wasn't faithful to the comic and that's it. Like he didn't talk about like any other aspect of it. He bitched about the chuds a little bit. It's just like it's an hour long video and yet he says very little about the movie itself. And I think that just goes to show you just how like desperate he was to try and like regain control over the situation. Like he's giving it a 4 out of 10 now. But like, considering what we saw last year with like the Superman movie, like he's just gonna like slowly come around to like liking the movie, like just because he's such a blind fanboy. He's gonna watch this like 5 times and keep giving it like another point until it's at like 8 or 9 out of 10. It's it's going to be ridiculous, I think. But we'll have to see like how that where that goes. But yeah, anyway, I really need to get to bed. I'm exhausted. Tried my best to keep this interesting. I've been having massive chest pains. I really got to figure that out. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Yeah, be sure to check out the podcast regularly. I'm gonna try and stream like as much as I can. But I also do like gameplay streams, and of course, I'm like uploading stuff. I'm doing editorials now. I got like a book coming out in the next couple of months. Actually, 2 books. So yeah, please support my Patreon. Please check out my website. Please check out like Twitter, anywhere where like I update people on this stuff. So yeah, please support me, and I will see you all next time. Subscribe right now as I go away and in hopes that I someday return. Thank you.